time is 11:35 a.m. Good morning. The news headline: We can't tell Buhari not to borrow. Senate President. The present administration has rubbished the Fiscal Responsibility Act (SUS1). The news in full. The President of the Senate, Ahmad Lawan, on Wednesday justified the rising external debt profile of the country under President Muhammadu Buhari administration. Senator Lawan, in his concluding remarks shortly after the debate that followed Senator Olamilekan Adeola's presentation of the Senate Joint Committee on the 2022 to 2024 Medium-Term Expenditure Framework (MTEF) and Fiscal Strategy Paper (FSP), dismissed comments by senators that the wave of borrowing under the present administration was not sustainable. Nigerian Tribune checks revealed that the Senate last week received a formal request from President Muhammadu Buhari asking for the Senate approval for a 4 trillion naira plus euro, that is 710 million euros, and grant component of $125 million. Further checks revealed that the Senate had last April approved fresh external loans of $1.5 billion and 995 million euro for the federal government. At Tuesday, the Senate's plenary, the President of the Senate gave the Senate Committee on Local and Foreign Debt, chaired by Senator Clifford Odia, 1 week to consider President Muhammadu Buhari's fresh loan request and report back to the entire Senate. A copy of the Senate Joint Committee 2022 to 2024 MTEF FSP report cited by Tribune Online and read by Senator Adeola revealed that in the 2022 budget, a fiscal deficit of 5.62 trillion naira, including government-owned enterprises, new borrowings of 4.89 trillion naira, including foreign and domestic borrowing, and debt service estimates of 3.12 trillion naira. Senator Lawan maintained that nothing could be done to halt the rising external debt profile, as he blamed past administrations of lack of foresight to provide for the rainy day. He said the Senate has passed the stage of discussing not to borrow. The issue is, what are we borrowing for? We are in a hurry to develop our infrastructure, but we need to be strict with the conditions. What are the moratorium? If it isn't favorable, we slow down, but we can't say we shouldn't borrow. When you don't make A while the sun shines, this is the kind of thing you face. We wasted our resources when we had the chance. Now our options are limited. I know we need to reduce borrowing, but the Committee of Finance is doing enough to ensure that the government-owned enterprises increases revenue for the country. I agree with Senator Albert Akman that we aren't doing enough oversight, but the committees are supposed to know how the ministries, departments, and agencies make and what they remit. I think we need to up our game. I want to challenge all revenue-generating agencies. They need to do more because we have given them enough support and they have no reason not to improve on their collection. I think it is high time our Committee on Finance and others look at some of the agencies that we should stop funding. They collect to spend but have nothing to remit. Again, there are some MDAs that shouldn't exist anymore. They are no longer relevant, but they continue to collect funds from the federal government. Earlier in his contribution, Senator Gabriel Suswam, PDP Benue, had observed that Nigeria has since borrowed beyond the 3% threshold enshrined in the Fiscal Responsibility Act. He noted that since the law has been observed in the breach by the Buhari administration, there is an urgent need for the Senate to amend it. He said that there are issues and we must address them. Some of these issues since 2019 have become a recurring decimal in all the MTEFs that have been presented here. The issue of borrowing and deficit, we now have a deficit that has been growing year in, year out. When is it going to stop? These are issues that agitate the minds of Nigerians, especially when it concerns borrowing. We have a deficit that has gone beyond the threshold of the Fiscal Responsibility Act (FRA) 2007, which then means that is either we amend the FRA so as to accommodate this deficit. The FRA stipulates a threshold of 3%. Last year, it was above the threshold. This year, it is above by 6%. In managing an economy, we need to combine fiscal policies with monetary policies. The central bank has failed woefully under the monetary policy. Senator representing Kogi State, Smart Adeyemi, equally decried the spear of borrowing without corresponding results in the fiscal infrastructures across the country. And addressing newsmen after the Senate adjourned plenary, Senator Adeola allayed fears of Nigerians as he submitted that while the budget would be financed mainly from foreign and domestic borrowings, there is provision for 638.32 billion naira from the privatization of the federal government's assets. He further restated that the Senate's determination to ensure that henceforth MDAs were compelled to bring a corresponding revenue profile tied to their expenditures for the year. Henceforth, any agency bringing its budget must bring with a corresponding revenue profile. When government gives them money, they will pocket their own revenue. We need to ensure that they remit their revenue in compliance with the Fiscal Responsibility Act. President Muhammadu Buhari Friday on State House Abuja